Hello everyone, this is Kathleen with Be Again Books and I welcome you back to my channel. So today we're doing the last step in our step-by-step series for beginning journal makers, and it is the details. Kind of at the end, I like to sort of go through and flip through the book and just see, what strikes me. Oh, I need a little something here or there, or I want to do this or that. I have several techniques that I often use. The first one is stenciling, and I also like to go back and sometimes put some little stamps here and there. I sometimes use some paint splatter, and that just really adds kind of a finishing touch to things. I like to come back and kind of fancy up the clips, do maybe an altered paper clip here and there. When the book gets to this point, often the bottom, I think I pointed this out earlier, the bottom is really stuffed, but the top has some room. And so I can come along and put some clips at the top, some altered paper clips or ribbons or whatever, and there's still a little bit of room there. I also like to use washi tape in different places. And then finally, I like what I call book jewelry. I will sometimes make a big fluffy tassel for the spine, or I'll do a chain dangle for the spine, or I will do charms and different things on this side. So I've got a couple things I'm going to show you, and I'm going to show you how I just make a very simple charm today. So we'll do that at the end. All right, we'll put the list over here. Okay, here's the first spot. So what I want to do is do some stenciling here. And it's going to be a little bit awkward because this is a pretty doily and I don't want it to get ripped. But I'm going to use some texture paste with this stencil. I could just use white paint or white ink, but I think I'm going to use a little bit of texture paste. But the other thing I've done is I have masked off, I've just isolated this flower, and I just want to put that here in the corner. So I'm going to get just a little bit of paste on my palette knife and then put this where I want it. I think it's always good to put a little bit of, a drop cloth so that you don't get texture paste where you don't want it. And then you make it flat, as flat as you can, and then you take it on an angle and just smear it, just kind of like frosting. Pick it up and just kind of go push it through that design. And then carefully, you just lift that stencil. Okay, and there's the pretty design right there in the corner. Okay, so wait 1 minute and I will be back after it dries. Okay, I'm back. And once it's dry, then I just sometimes use my fingers and just kind of rub that a little bit. If it's really deep textured, sometimes I will take my piece of sandpaper and just lightly sand over it to make it a little more smooth. But there, I like the way that looks. I wanted to mention that it's pretty important to clean the stencil quickly. Otherwise, the texture paste will get in all the little tiniest places, and it can ruin the stencil for paint and other mediums that you might want to use. And so I want to just do a stamp. So I'm going to use, it's just a little design, a flower design, and sometimes it's helpful to stamp that off once and make sure that you've got a good image. And I think I'm going to put it at the top. There we go. Not a great stamp. I should have put something hard behind it, but that works still. And now stamp that off, and then I'm just going to put a little bit of a green leaf. Let me take that off so I can see. Okay. I definitely wanted to put that same stamp on this page as well. And there, that's pretty good print. There is a bump under there. It's not a great. Sometimes it's better to stamp before you bind everything else in. Yeah, I'm gonna have to come back. You'll see how I fix that. Okay, I'm not gonna do any splatter today, but I am gonna show you a simple paper clip. So here is our little time card floating pocket that needs a clip. So this is just a rusted or oxidized paper clip, and I've just put, with the lark's head knot, I've just put some or pearl cotton here on the clip, and then I've just strung a few beads. And so we're just going to put this on, and that's going to kind of hang out the end here. There's other clips that you can do. As I say, you can do like an altered paper clip. There's all kinds of ideas for altered paper clips. And then the next thing I do is I will come upon a page like this that is like, whoa, I think maybe I was going to put a pocket on that and never did. I don't know. But what I can do now is just put some washi on there. And so remember how this looks. Here we go. So I'm going to kind of use that music as a guide. And we'll just put this washi. There's a bit of glue that got on there, down the side like that. And then we'll take the scissors and trim that side. And we'll trim this side. Okay, now you can see how much better that looks, right? Yep. Okay, now for the book jewelry. So this little charm we already had on this page, and you can see I have finished my envelope with a little bit of napkin decoupage on both sides, and we have that tag in there. There's a number of ways you can do book jewelry. It's just almost, you know, limited only by your imagination. So I have had this sitting on my desk for quite a while. It's just a bow. It's just a torn fabric bow, and I have tied a little bit of a charm there, and I've decided that I'm going to put it on this tab. So, but I want it here so that it's not going to interfere with any of these little short pages. But because it's at the top, there's going to be room for it. So I'm just going to put a little bit of glue right here and glue that in the middle of that tab. Okay, so that's a spot. And then remember we said we were going to put something here. I have made this little charm. So let's attach that, okay. And where else did I want to put one? Maybe one down here on this one. I have this little tassel that came in a bead package. Okay. And now let me show you how to make these really simple charms. One of the things that I like to have in my stash are these. It has a little ball on the end. Yeah. So that goes on the bottom, and then you can just do string some beads on there, right? So we'll put this fancy thing on there, and then we'll use this little bead cap. Okay, so now I want to smash all that down as much as possible, and then I'm going to take my round nose pliers and I'm going to put this over. Okay, can you see what I've done? It's at least a 45-degree angle. Okay, so I'm going to cut that off, and then I'm going to take my pliers and come around and make the loop that comes and meets right there at the bend. Okay, and make sure that it touches this other one. There we go. Okay, that's pretty, I think. Okay, yeah, that looks good. We don't want everything all at the same level. So let's do one more, and let's use these pretty beads. Okay, so I'm gonna put that there, and then I have a little spacer. So the nice thing about using the little ball pins is because it has the ball on there. There we go. Isn't that cute? Yeah. Okay, so here we go. We're going to take the pin and bend it like that. And then we want to trim a little bit off the end, maybe 1/4 of an inch. And then take the pin and just roll it back around until it meets. Okay, there you go. And then here's another bulb pin. And we'll find another place. Okay, so we have a lot here. There's 3 charms there. Here's 2, 3 there. So this one could go maybe on this one. Let's put it here on this tab. Oh yes, I like the way it would look next to that pocket. Here. Yeah, very nice. I like that. I want my charms to go at an angle so that they hang out the edge, because obviously you don't want a big lump like that in your book. So I try to put them on the edge, and there we go. There's our book jewelry. Fun. Fun. I like the way that looks. The next thing I will do off camera is finish the elastic closure with the beaded elastic, and then it will be ready for a flip through. So I wanted to show you here at the very end. We'll just do a little addendum and show you how I fixed my stamping mistake or how I fixed that. So here's what I did. I just used a little bit of paint splatter, and I used white. I used my decorating chalks. So I put just a little bit of chalk on a cotton ball first and put some depth in the background. So that's the first layer. And then the stamping is the second layer, and the splattering is the third layer. And I think that was a very effective way to fix that. So I've also put a little bit down here. And especially because this is a winter kind of journal. Let's see, here's the other one. So I did the same thing, a little bit of chalk and then some splatter on top. And here's the one that didn't look good, but now I think it does. I think it looks fine. And so I'm pleased with how that turned out. So there's really very few mistakes that can't be fixed somehow. Let me just say that to encourage those beginners out there. If something happens, you can either rip the page out or do something to fix it. And paint splatter is a helpful tool. All right, thanks so much for joining me today, and I'll see you again with another project.